Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another weekly track roundup. This week we have a little bit of a different style towards it, so I've kind of divvied things up between three different sections, the tracks that were released this week. One into a great section, another into a meh section, so songs that I thought were just okay, and then songs that I thought were in a bad section. So I'm going to test this out, see how it works, but I felt that was easier to kind of label them into a certain kind of section of the songs that I've listened to and kind of give my opinion on that further. So yeah, we have a decent amount of tracks this week, about 20 tracks that I listened to this week. Some I reacted to, some I didn't react to. And we're going to begin with the great section. Again, let me know your opinions on all these songs. I know some of my opinions are a little bit interesting, but if you disagree, make sure to let me know which ones you disagree with, because it does help kind of open up more conversation. But just to begin, in the great section, we have Armageddon by aespa. I've already reacted to this entire album and the music video in its entirety. I think it's a fantastic song. The production is incredible. Very different to Supernova, but the vocals are there. I don't know, it's just very addictive. You're wanting more, has very, very complex elements. And yeah, it just doesn't get boring every single listen. It basically keeps you coming back wanting more with this song, and I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, this album in its entirety is absolutely stellar, but Armageddon, the title track from the album, yeah, flawless. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's just absolutely incredible. Another couple of songs that I reacted to earlier in the week were How Sweet and Bubblegum by NewJeans. So I guess I'll just go at both of these one at a time here. But on first listen, I actually preferred Bubblegum to How Sweet, but now I think my opinion's reverting back. The production on How Sweet is really cool. The verses are flawless. I still feel that the chorus has a lot more that it could be giving, but I actually really like the kind of repetitive How Sweet part in the chorus. I actually really like that, and I think I actually prefer it a lot more than Bubblegum, but on first listen, Bubblegum did hit more. I still really like the Japanese city pop kind of influence. Obviously it doesn't go as hard, but it's a different kind of step in the right direction for NewJeans. And it's a way different style than they've done before, while still kind of remaining with the NewJeans style of like drum and bass and like kind of thing like that. But overall, I actually think I do prefer How Sweet to Bubblegum. I'm going to give Bubblegum like an 8.5. I'll give How Sweet not necessarily a 9, but like an 8.75. Right in between there. I think that's warranted, but two great tracks, and I'm excited to see what NewJeans does in the future. Sexy to Someone by Clairo. This was also another track that I reacted to, and I was not expecting to like this one quite as much as I actually did. I loved the kind of indie pop mixed with jazz influences. The chorus is really, really cute. I don't know how to describe it, but it's really, really sad and like depressing when you think of the lyrics, and the flute, all the different instruments that she's kind of experimenting with, which is a different kind of thing for Clairo. She hasn't really went to the jazz part of her music, but I like the kind of infusion with the music. It's not full indie pop, it's got different elements of indie pop in there, and I really wasn't expecting to like this one. It's really, really sad, and yeah, I know, I really like all the elements in this track. One of the best tracks of the week, I'm sure of it. Next, I was not expecting to like this one quite as much as I did. This is a song by Rauw, Alejandro. He's a reggaeton artist in the kind of Spanish music world. And basically, I really wasn't expecting this disco 80s, 90s vibe to it. I really wasn't expecting that kind of upbeat, nothing like his previous music. Like, even I don't know, like he's done a lot, but I wasn't expecting him to kind of go this route, because I know he's done some like kind of experimental stuff with Rosalia, and just classic reggaeton, but this kind of opens up the kind of element to his music that Western people could kind of go to. Like, this could do really well, and it's just kind of an interesting disco 80s 90s just fusion, and I really wasn't expecting it, but I really enjoy it. Very, very different for Rauw. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this quite as much as I did. But yeah, I'm going to give this one like an 8.5. Very, very enjoyable. Totally different sound for him, but no, very, very enjoyable. Next is Flava by Shenseea and Leray. I reacted to Red Flag with Shenseea and Anitta, and I listened to this off camera, and I actually preferred this to the Anitta track. Something about this is just more classic Shenseea, and Leray sounds great on the track. I love how kind of danceable it is, and I don't know, it's just very similar to kind of what Shenseea does best, and I feel with Red Flag, which I guess I'll cover right now as well, I found with Red Flag that it was kind of being forced to kind of play two different kind of genres, trying to appeal to Anitta's kind of style of music and Shenseea, and we have the kind of trap beat in there with a kind of a repetitive chorus. I think while it was quite okay, I thought it was kind of forced and not super natural for Shenseea. I think this is a lot better and a fantastic track. You know, it's fun, and I like the collaboration with Leray a lot. I wasn't expecting this kind of collaboration, but the two work together very well, and I actually ultimately prefer this to Red Flag. I'm going to give this one a 9. Very, very fun, and seems very natural for Shenseea, not anything out of her comfort zone, but sticking towards what kind of she does best. Caught Up by Flo. This one is a fantastic R&B track. Very, very classic R&B 2000s. You know, it's like anything I've ever wanted from an R&B track. Flo just knows how to do this kind of music, and it's something they excel at, like, insanely. It's catchy, while also remaining with that kind of R&B style. It reminds me of, like, kind of Beyonce and Destiny's Child, that kind of vibe in the 2000s. It's really, really enjoyable, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy this quite as much as I did, but Flo is a super underrated group, and they're kind of reviving that R&B sound, and it's kind of something that I didn't realize that I was wanting until I heard it. But I'm going to give it like a 10 out of 10. This is a fantastic track, and totally recommend Flo. I'm very, very excited for their kind of next steps in music, but no, very, 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 very fun track. Lost by RM. This is a track that I also reacted to, and this is a track that grew on me. I actually really, really like the kind of chorus part. I like the kind of that kind of repeats throughout the track. That's very addictive, and I like the way he kind of raps along the track. The production is addictive, and yeah, I thought the chorus grew on me a lot. It's something that I'm singing all the time. It's catchy, and the vocals in the beginning by, I don't know who it is, but whoever he has at the start of the song is very, very beautiful. And yeah, I wasn't expecting to like this track quite as much as I did after listening, but it's grown on me a lot and is placed right into the great section. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic track, and yeah, it's a lot different from the rest of the tracks on this album, because the rest are kind of like rap and jazz influenced. This is kind of more upbeat and kind of follows that poppier element, but no, I really, really enjoy it, and the chorus grew on me an immense amount. I think this is the final song of the great section of me of Loop by Yves and Lil Cherry, former Luna artist. This is just absolutely incredible. This is basically like drum and bass meets gay Vogue music, very EDM kind of style. It's just anything I've ever wanted, and probably one of the best K-pop tracks of the year. Lil Cherry brings an interesting kind of rap verse to the second verse there, and plays a little bit of a part in the pre-chorus. I know her voice is a little jarring and her music style is kind of jarring for a lot of people, but I actually thought it fit in really well. And yeah, just so many great elements. I love the drum and bass. I love the Vogue house influence. It's just anything I've ever wanted in a K-pop track, and yeah, Yves does such a great job with this track. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as well. One of the best tracks of the week. Here we are, moving on to the mess section. These are tracks that I found were okay, and I would probably listen to again, but nothing compared to the songs in kind of the great section. So, the first track here, we have Love Bites by Nelly Furtado, Tove, and SG Lewis. This also came out today, and I reacted to it last night, so I haven't had much time compared to the other tracks to kind of sit with it and enjoy it, but I think this one is quite catchy. The production's solid. Nelly's voice is kind of a little jarring to the beat, doesn't really fit the song super well, but Tove and SG Lewis, they do have a lot of great chemistry, and they made a very, very fun song. I just feel like where the chorus was placed as well was a little interesting, because it felt that we were building up to something and it kind of just dropped. Wherever we were going didn't exactly hit, and it kind of just stopped in the middle, and then we began the second verse. And that is the one thing that I noted in the reaction video, is where I was like, where is the chorus part? We were building up to something what I thought was the chorus, but it wasn't. It was kind of like a pre-chorus sounding thing, and it was weird. But I do like the production, and it's very catchy. Maybe on further listen I'll come to like this more, but I think it's just truly a meh track. Okay, nothing too special though. Hero by Charlie Puth. This is one of the weaker tracks on the mess side. I feel like there's got to be a different direction for Charlie Puth. I feel like his self-produced tracks just fall a little flat. It's not bringing anything of value. I know his voice sounds great. There are parts where the mix is a little interesting though. I'm not a fan of his self-produced tracks. But no, it's catchy, and I like his voice on the track, but it doesn't do a whole lot, and I just kind of wish he would move on to a different producer and maybe start doing something that he did earlier with his earlier music, because I feel like that suits him a lot better. But this one is just okay. I'll give it like a 6.5. It's enjoyable, but nothing I would come back to, and it's not super groundbreaking. Again, Red Flag by Shenseea and Anitta. Again, this doesn't feel super authentic, but I do like the fusion between both their styles, with that trap beat, very catchy. A very simple track, doesn't have too many complex elements, but I do like the fusion between the reggaeton, Anitta's type of music, mixed with kind of Shenseea's Jamaican influence in trying to create it something that the Western audience would like more. Yeah, I think it's very catchy. It's simple, doesn't have too many complex elements compared to Flava, the title track. But yeah, I think it's okay. A 7 out of 10 is what I'm going to give this, but I don't know. Mona Lisa by SOOJIN. I mean, I like it. It's just the lyrics. The lyrics are questionable, and I feel like it could be a lot better, especially because SOOJIN's earlier title track, I think it was called Agassi, also kind of sounded similar to this. And yeah, the lyrics are questionable. The chorus is just kind of flat. The production is good though. I do like I do like the production. The production on this track is very, very good. It's just the lyrics and the kind of melody that follows it is just kind of flat for me. Dance break is okay. It just doesn't feel authentic. She feels bored. And I enjoy the track, but it's just elements that leave me wanting more. And it's just a disappointing release for SOOJIN. Yeah, I think it's just okay. I'll give it a 6, but it's nothing spectacular. We have Turn It Up by PinkPantheress. The only reason I didn't put this in the bad section is just because there's nothing about this song that inherently makes it bad. It's just flat the entire way. It sounds like a demo. It sounds rushed. It doesn't sound anything kind of like her first album or her second album, in a sense that the quality, it does sound similar to her album To Hell With It, I think it's called, but it's similar to the fact that it has the drum and bass elements, but it's just very one tone and doesn't really go anywhere. You can tell the quality isn't exactly the same, and to follow up kind of the drum and bass classic PinkPantheress sound, it just sounds like a demo, doesn't go anywhere. A little flat for PinkPantheress. This one is very, very close to being in the bad section. The only thing that's keeping it from being there is just because there's no necessarily bad elements, it's just not wowing me and not super great as a whole. Here we have I'm Okay by Alexa. Alexa is an artist where I feel like their kind of label kind of did her dirty, because after she won the American Song Contest, she had a lot of great kind of produced things, a lot of support from her label doing music videos in the kind of Korean language, following the kind of K-pop sound, and now she's kind of, I do really, really like this track, but I just feel like the music videos, the kind of effort for her music needs to be there. And while this song is very, very catchy and fun, it sounds like something Kelly Clarkson would release. It's very focused towards her English fan base compared to her Korean fan base, which I don't necessarily hate if she's giving us these bops. Yeah, it's rock. It sounds very classic, 2010s, 2000s, Kelly Clarkson rock, kind of pop rock kind of thing. Yeah, I really, really enjoy it, and I'm just wanting more music from Alexa and kind of higher production levels, and I feel like she has so much potential, but this is a very, very solid song. I'm vibing with it. I'm actually really vibing with it. I'll give this one a 7.5. The only thing that's kind of hindering me is just because it sounds kind of plain. Like, it's nothing that's super groundbreaking about this track. It doesn't kind of raise any boundaries, and is something that I feel like Alexa really needs to do to kind of continue her upwards trajectory, because I feel like it's falling down a lot. Here we have Pink Skies by Bryan. This one I think was okay. I like the kind of harmonica influence. And while it is enjoyable, it is a little one note, and for Bryan's quality songs, I feel like the chorus could have been catchier. But other than that, I think it's just an okay track. It's something that I'll probably have to listen to multiple times to fully understand it, but just kind of on the surface there, it's a kind of a one-note track. I like the elements with the harmonica and the guitar as always, but yeah, the chorus isn't super memorable, and while it's beautiful, it's nothing super earth-shattering as a Bryan song. I'll give it like a 6.75, nearing a 7, but there's just some things that I'd kind of want to open it up a little more and make it more memorable. But otherwise, I think it's very, very enjoyable. Just certain issues I have with it. Its memorability. And here we are. We move on to the bad section. We have 3 songs included in here. Moving on to probably the worst track of the entire week is You My Everything by Sexyy Red and Drake. You know, I was kind of intrigued when I saw Drake was featured again on a Sexyy Red track, hoping they would kind of build off of their track Rich Baby Daddy, which I really, really loved. But this Sexyy Red just sounds terrible. The mix, her vocals sound terrible. The chorus is annoying as all hell. The BBL Drizzy Drake is something that's just kind of eh. Drake sounds okay on the track. His bars are the only kind of thing that redeemed the track, but outside of Drake, this is a terrible song. And even Drake could barely redeem himself, or this track as a whole. But yeah, just very, very overwhelming. Her vocals are terrible. Yeah, this is terrible. I'm probably going to give it like a 0 out of 10. I feel like this is just, it's lazy. She doesn't sound good. Drake barely sounds good. The production, not very good. I don't know. It's like a 1 out of 10. That's my opinion. Moving on to the bad section again, we have Strangers by Kiesza. This one's just a little generic. It's boring a little bit. It sounds kind of like cringe EDM music. For someone who really actually likes Kiesza's music, I liked her album that released, 3 to 4 years ago. I really enjoyed that album, and I wish she'd kind of continue with the electro-pop influence, but now it's kind of started off as a ballad, and then it kind of built up. But the drop is just flat and kind of just very generic. Her vocals are okay. They sound a little kind of drowned out, but this is very disappointing for Kiesza. I was expecting more when I saw she released a new song, and I'm hoping she can kind of continue towards the electro-pop sound, the dance-pop sound, increase the production, because I feel like that's a little underwhelming. And yeah, the EDM element, the drop there, it just has to go. And then the last song, we have Meghan Trainor's new single. This is a Meghan Trainor song. Whether you like it or not, it's a confidence song. It makes you want to dance, but at the same time, it's just kind of cringe, and it just all sounds the same. Her songs all sound the same to me. There are a couple tracks that I've liked from her album. Like, I like the one with T-Pain. I think that would be a meh song if it released now, and I would put it on the song Roundup. But no, this one is just, it's fun, it's just a little cringe, and it sounds the same. I'm going to give this one like a 5 out of 10. It's just average, but this is why it's in the bad section. It just sounds all the same, and yeah, that's why. But hopefully you guys agree with me with some of these opinions. I'm not sure if I'm in the minority or the majority with my opinions on these tracks. But yeah, this was a great week. A lot of songs are in the great section. In the mess section, a lot of the songs can just be kind of uplifted with 1 or 2 elements that are changed, but overall this was a solid week for music, and next week should be solid. We got some drops from Normani, Kalani, a remix with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. I think we have an album or 2 coming out, some K-pop releases. We got a bunch coming out basically tonight as I'm recording this, but yeah, it should be a fun week for next week as well. But hope you guys enjoyed this week's kind of edition of the weekly song roundup. Let me know if you guys like this format, or you want me to continue back with just kind of giving my opinion and not putting great, meh, or bad on them. I don't know. I thought it would be interesting to follow kind of Fantano's direction with it, but yeah, I kind of stole his idea, I guess, but I thought it was fun for the songs that I listened to during the week to kind of summarize, because it's quite hard to react to all the songs that come out in a week, because it's hard to make 15 or 20 videos a week kind of going over all the tracks. So this is kind of just the easiest way to give my opinion on the new tracks. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.